there. How are Arsenal going to respond to this, Kunle? And I don't just mean for the rest of the season. What are Arsenal going to do in the summer, especially with Liverpool maybe losing a star or two? What is Arsenal's response to this going to be? They're being called bottle jobs, and for more than one reason: bottling the game, bottling the windows, not spending enough money. What do you think the response? Not what you want. What do you think Arsenal will do in response to missing out on another league title 3 years running now?
You know what? The only thing that would make sense is the fact that they withheld money in January. They go crazy in the summer. Like I'm talking like I don't know what the PSR thing is, but I'm saying 250M, 300M. That I can see them doing that.
I think Cunley, I think you can spend around 200 million gross. I think so. We're talking a lot of money. Yeah, I think that's right.
That's all that has to happen because it doesn't make sense. Why did I think them telling Arteta that we're not buying you any players in January is like, look, we've got a big plan for summer. We've got maybe the sporting director coming in then, and you'll have a big budget to go at it. I personally don't think Arteta's the guy that should get that budget, but that's for another stream, I guess. But I think we go big in the summer. Personally, that's the only thing that makes sense.
Arteta
out for this season. Like, look, I'm not gonna say Arteta out, but Terry knows my stance because at the end of the day, technically we're still in the Champions League. So until that changes, he might as well stick around, innit? So other than that, I said I wanted a major or this guy has to walk, and not because I don't think he's done great things. Yeah, he's done great things, and he's left. What if he walks, which I believe he should be the big man and walk at the end of the season. Don't wait to get sacked and all that. Walk at the end of the season, and you've done a great job. Like I don't think anyone a lot of people didn't even expect him to come in and challenge at any point, and he's done it. So give another manager a go. He's not the only one that deserves a chance. He's put the next manager in better stead for his tenure. Just not like Klopp did for Slot, but he's put him in a better situation. And if he gets a big transfer budget in the summer, then who knows what we can.
But Kunle, why would he walk? Why would he walk? I think that he's living the dream at Arsenal.
He's not going to walk.
Yeah, like
I know. Hey, Will. I know he's not going to walk, but I think he should do the right thing and realize this might be too big for me. I need to go and learn some other things because he does some really weird things. I mean, Terry, remember last week we talked about the Marino situation. Should he start as number 9? And I said no. And the reason why the Marino thing worked in that game was we needed a goal, 20 minutes to go. He came on and it was running and we were chasing the goal. That didn't mean because it worked for 20 minutes, start him from the start because he was a passenger. He was another referee in the game like he normally is. And then we did nothing.
Yeah, but you're right. Maybe bringing him on against tired legs, 20 minutes to go. They don't know where to pick him up. It's a different situation. And I get the Arteta. I get the whether. Well, that's another show for another day, whether people think he should stay or go. Because what I want to get to is what do we think Arsenal are going to do? As opposed to our personal opinions. Henry, what do you think Arsenal will do in response to missing out on this title this summer? Will it be Šeško's and potential? Or will it be Osimhen's and sort of Nico Williams, players that have delivered at the highest level already, delivered league titles, delivered international trophies? What direction do you think Arsenal will go this summer?
I think that question will depend on who they appoint as their new director of football. You know, Gaspar leaving just before the transfer window kind of changes their strategy. It's very, very hard to go and get an Alexander Isak out of Newcastle in January. You know, Nico Williams had a release clause absolutely on fire over the weekend, by the way, Bilbao. There was players out there. There's no excuse not to go out there and sign a player in January. What I will say is I think Arteta will be at Arsenal a long time. I think he'll see out this contract, and I think he'll sign another contract because the Cronkies, they love this guy. Whether he is the guy to win a league title is a different debate. What I think they will do is I think they will go all out for a number 9. I don't think, as it stands on what's the date today, the 24th of February, that it will be Isak in the summer. I think that one is, and I just don't.
Too much for us, just for one.
Yeah,
player.
I think if you've got a budget of £200 million, you're not going to spend 140 or 150 pounds of it on Alexander Isak, knowing the fact you still need a winger that can score goals, knowing the fact that you still haven't sorted out who's going to play 6 if Partey goes, knowing the fact that there still isn't significant cover if Gabriel or Saliba get injured. I don't want to hear about no Tomiyasu, no Ben White, no Kivior. There still isn't significant cover. You know, on the right-hand side, what happens if Saka gets another injury? We don't know what he's going to be like coming back from his hamstring injury. The response should be, go out and sign. This is just my opinion before anyone jumps on my back. Go out there and bring a forward in like Brian and Buemo and bring a number 9 in. Someone that can... I rate him, bro. I think he would be.
I like how Henry asked to finish, and then the first thing you said is,
Quinley was like,
go,
no.
I also think Footy Corner TV, Wanyeri has saved Arsenal probably 100 million in the summer as well, because he will come in and create. The big question mark is going to be, if they bring in the number 9 and they bring in the winger, which we all know they need, what happens to Martin Ødegaard? This should be spoken about a lot more.
What do you mean by that, Henry?
He's the captain. Nothing happens to him.
Yeah. I was about to say he's not going nowhere. He's not going anywhere.
This is just my opinion. I don't think he should be the guy leading Arsenal going forward in terms of this captaincy role. I don't think he does enough in the final third when it comes down to creativity.
He's a passenger.
Exactly. I think Arsenal need to look at that position as well. I think maybe playing Rice and Ødegaard in the 8 role, you know, helping with the press. They need a creative player that when it comes down to the final third can make that killer pass. Ødegaard doesn't do it. And if you bring in someone like an Isak, who's feeding them the ball other than Saka?
Yeah, but Henry, let's be very honest, right? We know that Arsenal aren't going to go out there and get a striker and a winger and some of these other positions. Like, we know that that's what they need and that's what they should do, right? But more than likely, what's going to be the response will be Sesko. And I think it will just be Sesko as like that big attacking signing. I don't think that it'll be like a Sesko with the Nico Williams. I feel like it'll be one or the other. You either get a left winger or you'll get a striker. I just don't think that Arsenal will go out there and get both, just because I think any confidence that anybody had in the Arsenal board, it should have ended after that summer window, because we could have had the same convo last season, right? Arsenal should have done a lot more in the summer, but instead you sign Calafiori, you bring in Raheem Sterling on deadline day, and then you also sign like the goalkeeper. Point is, you guys didn't do enough. Mikel Merino, we all knew that he wasn't even the best midfielder from Sociedad. So I just don't see how anybody can say that what they think Arsenal will do is go sign Isak for 150 million. And then they think that they'll also go spend 60 million or 70 million for a Nico Williams. Like, we all know that, like, that's not going to happen.
I hear you, but I can see us doing a Nico Williams and a Sesko. Zubamendi's coming in the summer as well, so you never know.
Yeah, see, but the thing is, though, I can't see both. But I think like those would be 2 good signings, because you do need both of them. So like it makes sense.
We can get them both though. That's the thing.
Even if they sign
Isak, I think Isak's off the table completely, 100%.
Yeah. But of course,
we can go out and get Osimhen, Nico Williams, and Zubimendi. That changes everything, and we're losing some players as well. I think Partey's probably going to go. Jorginho's going to go. I still don't get the Marino thing, to be honest. I still don't get it, but.
Well, yeah. So the thing is, like, of course, Arsenal can get both, right? Arsenal you guys have money to spend. It's like what Nabin said. You guys can spend things like 200 M's gross. So the money is there. But the question is, like, when has the board just ever shown that level of ambition to go get 2 players like that you would definitely need? I just don't see it happening. I think it'll be one big money signing, which would be Sesko for like 70. And then I think you'll, spend some money just like on like lesser players who aren't going to really come in and start per se. Like, that's.
But they need win now players. They need like at least 2.
Yeah,
but they need that last summer.
I don't think that happens, Will, personally. Just the fact that I think the board are a little bit embarrassed of the whole Edu thing and how what we've done with how bad we've been in the window recently. I think they go big in the summer. Obviously,
so like, how much money do you think that they spend?
I'm saying 250 M. Don't quote
250. I mean, all right. I mean. I feel like that would be
the 3 players that I listed is like what? Osimhen, I don't know, like 60 M or something like what? I don't know what the quote is on that. Nico Williams, isn't the release clause like 40 something, 45?
Nah, I think it. Not well. He signed a new deal. I think his release clause is
he
now
did?
100, but maybe you get him for
Where?
like less. Yeah, like he
I thought it
signed.
was
I believe he
50
signed
million
a
euro.
new deal last summer, and then they gave him the number
Yeah,
10.
Nah,
and everything.
I
not
don't think
last
it's
summer
100,
because
Tom.
coming into January, we were talking about that release clause again. So I think
He signed it
okay,
last
okay.
December. I
Okay.
think it's 275,000 euro a week. He's on ridiculous wages.
Yeah, his wages are
His
Yeah, I
crazy.
think the release clause is still there.
Okay.
And then Zubimendi for what, 50 mil? That's like 160 mil spent on that. We still got some change there, bro. So I see
yeah,
it.
but you don't think that you're thinking a little bit too ambitious in terms of
Of
like
course
what
I
the club
do, but
will do? Because I think that's what Terry was saying. Like,
course I do.
like, what do we genuinely believe
just to
that
break
the
it
club
down?
will
So,
do?
sorry. So just to break it down, right? So in the 21-22 season, they spent 167. In the 22-23 season, where Jesus and that came in, it was 186 million. In the 22-24 season with Declan Rice, they spent 235 million. So I don't think it's a crazy estimate to throw 200. If you throw 200 million in, I don't think that's.
Well, why do you hate us, man?
They've shown they've done that. The only time that in the last few years where they've been a lot less was this summer just gone, where it was 108 million. And I think that if you turn that 108 million into 180 million by throwing in a Gyökeres or an Osimhen, I actually think we're having a different conversation about Arsenal's season right now as well. So I don't think Arsenal need mass surgery. I think they need, we're talking earlier about Chelsea, just going by 2 or 3 established players to get you to that. I think that's where Arsenal are. You throw in Zubimendi, Nico Williams, and Osimhen, just to name 3. If they were in your squad now, you're not 11 points off Liverpool. Liverpool are where they are. I don't buy into this notion from some gooners that's quite disrespectful to Liverpool that you're only top because we've had these problems. I still think Liverpool have this amount of points regardless of Arsenal. But I think Arsenal were closer, maybe even slightly ahead. You can make those arguments. But Liverpool are where they are. I think we'd be looking at Arsenal's chances of winning the Champions League so different if those 3 players were currently in Arsenal's squad. So for me, if they don't do that in the summer, that's what I think they'll do, something along those lines. It may not be those 3 players, and that's what people will now do. Like, it's not going to be those 3. Okay, but I think they'll go big as well.
Well, but then
200 million I can see us spending 200 million plus.
200 million. No, but that's kind of like what I was saying in terms of like obviously Arsenal, they do spend money, but I'm talking about just like the big name players. I don't think that they'll get 2 or 3. I think they'll get 1 big name player, and then they'll use the money to kind of like spread on people who are like a little bit lesser than in terms of money wise. Like that's kind of like where I was thinking about it from.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, and I think they do that. I mean, look, it depends on how good those players are and how they deliver. But I think Arsenal fans, by and large, will be disappointed. Will be disappointed in that. They really, really will, because it also prolongs a kind of Arteta debate if they scrimp again and they don't quite bring the quality in. Because there'll be some that will, I remember Dan Potts saying at the beginning of the season, as much as I'm scrutinizing Arteta, he goes, I think they've let him down. They haven't bought enough in this summer. They should have spent. And I agree with. Look, Mikel Moreno.
You agree with that, Terry, though, that they let him down? Or I think the choices of signings he made in the summer was wrong.
Yes, but I look at this I look at this twofold. If he only had 108 million euros to spend, one of Calafiore or Moreno shouldn't have come into. Remember, one of the 31 million of that was David Raya, right? Your goalkeeper. One of the other 2 shouldn't have happened if that's the budget they had. That's where I go to the manager and say, you shouldn't have done that. But for
get
me,
a better loan than Sterling, surely.
Get a better loan than Sterling. Yes, I agree. But I'm going to another level. I feel like they should have given him more money than that. So for me, it's a case of I don't think he should have been given that choice. I think he should have I think he should have got those players that he wanted, and you guys should have gone out and bought. And I don't think I know we also had a debate on AFTV. No, you want a striker. I want a goal scorer. The weirdest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah,
where I get where they're coming from is I don't think it mattered this season whether it was a number 9 or another wide player. They need somebody else that brings goals to that team. They need somebody else. Because again, I look at Liverpool, brilliant team, deserve to be top. My very basic analysis on Liverpool this year is the team has got them top of the league. Mo Salah has put them 11 points clear. Mo Salah's goals, game-changing moments. I just feel he is the one that's helped to create that clear blue water. The team is good enough to be in the title race. Mo Salah has been he's been an alien this season. And I think that Arsenal they're not going to find anyone that can do Salah numbers, in my opinion, because I think there's only a finite amount of those players in the world. But if they had a striker right now that was sitting on 18 league goals or a winger that was on 18 league goals, this situation is very, very different indeed. So I understand that scrutiny, that he made the wrong decision. He deserves to be criticized for it. But I think there's an extra layer here that I think often doesn't get discussed enough. The board didn't do enough in the summer. And when you look at the profit and loss accounts of Arsenal, there's no PSR problems that anyone who understands finances, and I'm not talking about my understanding, I'm talking about the breakdown from experts. No one can see where this problem is. It wasn't like you're, a couple of pounds too much and you're going to get a 10-point deduction. You were there or thereabouts. So, yeah, they've got to go big this summer, Arsenal. They have to respond because 3 years on the bounce in a title race is very good for a team who 4 years ago, all the media was scratching out of the top six, scratching out of the big six, saying would never get back. It's great. But they've got to start. You've got to strike while the iron is hot. Because you never know the future. You don't know who else is going to come up, how other teams. And I still think next year they go into the season in the top 2, top 3 favorites to win the league. I still think all of us come the end of the summer window will say that somewhere they'll be in everyone's top 3. If they don't do enough though, and they have another season, another summer like last year, there's just no way they're winning the league. Because I think Chelsea City are going to be a better team as an example. I'm intrigued to see what Liverpool do. I'm really intrigued to see what Liverpool do. But what they cannot bet on, Arsenal, is City having a bust summer again and Liverpool losing 3 players and not replacing them. That can't be the strategy. It has to be better than that.